Hello everyone, and we're back with another exciting video. Now we're reaching Ketu in the 9th house. I want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who subscribed so far. We are almost at 1,000 users. I made a video with a special announcement when we reach 1,000 users. If you haven't seen it, go watch. It's a free giveaway. And if this is the first time, welcome. My name is Jaspir, and our family, this is a home. And our home is filled with almost 1,000 hearts now. And I want to say this home isn't for me, it's for you to discover yourself. I make these videos not for me, not to gain popularity, not to grow. It's so that you can come here and learn something new about yourself. And today's video is on Ketu in the 9th house. This, again, it's a little bit easier placement for Ketu rather than the 8th or the 6th and some of the other homes. So it's not a bad placement, but there's some stuff that there's some stuff that an individual needs to work through to enjoy this Ketu Mahadasha when Ketu's in the 9th house. So first thing that I want to say, and I'll come back to it later, is step out of your comfort zone. And hold on to that thought. I'm going to come back to it later in the video. And Ketu in the 9th house, let me get right to it. Your wounds, where you need to heal, okay? If you have Ketu in the 9th, admit it or not, you have a father wound. Either you lost your father right from birth, the father was never there. You lost your father at a young age. You were never enough for your father. That pain is hidden in the heart. And you need to work through that. You need to heal from that, whether you're a male or a female. If you don't heal from this pain, and the longer you hold it in your heart, the heavier it gets. And from childhood, you might have been burdened from your father with all the responsibilities. You never spoke up to him, or if your father was never there for you emotionally. And as you get older, if, for example, if you're female and that disconnect, if you haven't healed, you want that maybe from your husband, okay? But it's not your husband's duty to fulfill that wound that you have inside. You have to heal that. And if you're a male, and typically in society, males don't feel pain. Who says that? Acknowledge it. And the thing about Ketu in the 9th, and I come back to when I'm dealing with advanced astrology, but Ketu in the 9th, it also hits 8 houses away, which ends up being the 4th house, the house of mother. So you might also have a disconnect from your mom, no emotional support. So you gotta be the strong warrior, but how? You have to go within and discover yourself. That's the magical path opening of Ketu in the 9th. And so I got right to it. I mentioned it. Father issues. Now, a lot of people, what happens is with this magical placement, you could have been disconnected from your father at a young age. You lost your father in some place around the world, or he walked out of your life, and you never knew your father. But when this Mahadasha comes, a lot of people have this urge that they want to go finding their biological father, and they end up meeting. Sometimes you hear on the internet how somebody found their father after 40 years, 50 years, or 30 years, so on and so forth. So this is one of those magical placements because Ketu is a past. So when you're determined, you will end up finding your biological father if he was missing from your life. And one other thing that I want to say, with Ketu in the 9th, also I want to mention D1 chart, your main Lagna chart, and your D9 Navamsha chart. Both are just as important. So don't miss out one over the other, okay? Always analyze them together side by side. Now, Ketu in the 9th, while you're going through Mahadasha, you have this longing. If you haven't done the homework yet, you're always going to be searching for a guru or a mentor, okay? You're always going to say, I wish I could find a guru. I just wish there was some ashram or some temple where I can meet my guru. A real guru doesn't say, come to me. A real guru is going to point you to you and say the guru is within you. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, when you're meditating, you have to make a connection with your inner self. That's where the guru lies. You are the guru. So don't search for something outside with Ketu in the ninth when it's existing all along in your heart. You just have to find it. You have to go within. What happens is, with Ketu in the ninth, where's Rahu? He's in the third. People say, oh, Ketu in the ninth makes you extremely spiritual, devotional. You gotta balance this. You cannot become overly religious. Sometimes people don't, because Ketu ninth rebel religions and you're against the traditional practices. You want to come up with your new modern way of teachings, which I'll get to in a second. And Ketu here says, let go of the past, your 8th house stuff. You have already done the occult. You've already done the studies. You've stepped away from the trauma in the past, right? Now you got to step into your light soul. You've worked through your traumas. You're happy. You're taking it easy. A lot of people enjoy their Mahadasha with Ketu in the ninth because in a way people say Ketu is exalted here. Yes, I don't get into too much about where it's exalted and depleted. I stay away from that for now. But a lot of people take it easy in this Mahadasha with Ketu in the ninth. It's not so bad. Sometimes people, they find their soul aligned path from here. It happens every placement, but especially with the ninth here. One of the other things is, because it's the 5th from the 5th now. 5th house is the house of children, but for the 5th from the 5th makes the 9th house. And if Ketu is sitting here, you might have a little bit of disconnect from your children. You might do it to fulfill your duty, but you might not be connected with them heart to heart, or there might be some space with them. And that might be because you haven't healed from your own wounds that are inside yet. You might be blocking your energies from feeling the love that you never received as a child. So there's always space to work through this hidden energy, this hidden trauma inside you, admit or not. There's people that I talk to who are 50, 60, 70-year-old, and they said, I wish I knew this differently. I wish my mother or my father were different, or I had woken up earlier to these feelings. And yet I have people who are in the 20s and 30s that are so in touch with their inner self that I can't even believe it. And with Ketu in the ninth, the reason you're not following traditions is because you walked the path already of learning of traditions and different occult studies and everything. What happens when Ketu's in ninth, you're here to bring a change. How? You're going to bring a change to the religious system, business, any type of system that exists out there. You don't want to follow the traditional path. If your company, for example, is a printing company and you always printed newspapers, and you might come up with the idea, let's do online business now. We're going to print order from online. You start up an e-commerce for printing books and stuff like that. But mainly, if we talk about religion, religious activities, for example, yoga, 10, 15, 20 years ago, to learn yoga and to teach it, for example, you had to go to the mountains, Rishikesh, Dehradun, or somewhere institute, you had to learn, and there were schools and stuff like that. You had to follow the traditional path or traditional schools where you learn yoga. Nowadays, the change that we're seeing with this, people are teaching yoga online. So you could come from a very religious family, or for example, traditional astrologers. Now you say you want to develop an app or AI to bring change in the traditions. So why does that happen? It's because of your Rahu. Rahu in the third house is social media, technology, change. Rahu is technology. So your destiny will pull you towards that. So you want to take the tradition, modify it to something modern now. And you, with Ketu in the ninth, you always want to think is, how can I bring change to the old traditions and old belief systems here? What can I change? You don't like following the path of traditional coaches, mentors, gurus, whoever, the traditional teachings anymore, because you've already walked that path before. And why is that? Because from your soul house, the 12th house in astrology, your soul, you count ninth, it's the 10th house. It's the house of your karma. So you've already been a spiritual monk, a mystic, a yogi in the past life. Now it's time for you to take what you have learned in the past life and modernize it in a different way. How can you implement religious teachings through the use of technology? And the reason why I know this placement so well is because in my D1, I have Ketu in the 4th house. I've mentioned that. And in my D9 now, I have Ketu in the 9th house. And hence why I'm also in front of the camera here. My destiny's lining up now. What made me push it is the Rahu in the 3rd house for me. Technology. You're watching this video, it's because of the Rahu, the phone, my destiny here. I used to be something completely different, business and stuff. When my inner calling came, I discovered myself on the inside, who I am. Here I'm helping you finding your true calling here. By being in front of a camera. Now we're connecting through Zoom meetings, through phone calls every day. I'm connecting with many, many beautiful souls out there. And there's so many wonderful emotions, heartfelt connections. It's such a wonderful session. So a typical session with me is not just about planets and what planet is doing what. It's more so about heart to heart. It's like, where are you stuck emotionally? What is holding you back? What are your fears? Where is your energy blocked? If I talk about chakras, which chakras are open and which are closed? We can see all that. And it's a magical time when I connect with you guys. What else? So one of the magics behind having Ketu in the 9th here is, if you're not going through Ketu Mahadasha, this placement takes effect in the 40s, when you're in your 40s. Luckily for me, my Ketu Mahadasha came on in my 30s, but had it not come, if I was in a different type of dasha, I would be making this change in my 40s. Now, why is that? The two planets, the nodes, the Rahu and the Ketu, there's a maturity age, like when they fully ripen and give their fruit. So Rahu matures at 42 and Ketu fully matures at the age of 48. So in the 40s, you gotta do the inner searching work to see where your true calling is. So either Ketu Mahadasha does it for you, or the 40s age and be like, I've been in the wrong career or wrong this. Finally, I'm going to start doing something from the heart. And with Ketu in the 9th, you usually end up making a difference in other people's life. You have to discover that inner talent. Are you a coach? Are you a mentor? Are you a healer? They're going to help many other souls come from trauma and help heal them and guide them. Where is that calling? Now, it all depends on your chart, where the other planets are, what your true calling is, or if you're meant to be a teacher or a coach, but you have to discover yourself within where your true talent lies. With Ketu, with the help of Ketu, and again, I always say, it's only because of Ketu that Ketu took everything away from me so I can discover who I am on the inside. I had to lose it all, strip everything away, the illusions, the Maya, my attachments, and then I found the light within. And this light reaches many, many hearts outside now. So when you feel the love, when you're learning this knowledge, let me remind you, it's not me, it's you on the inside. You have the love inside, but you just haven't discovered it. So I'm here reflecting your light back to you. So I just want to remind, if you're in the Ketu in the 9th and you're always looking to find a guru, guru doesn't exist outside. Your guru is within. That voice that speaks to you in silence. That's your guru. Your intuition is your guru. Now, how do we see change? I've been saying it in every video. Change is seen 8 houses away. 8 houses from the 9th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Stop. That's a 4th house. It's the house of mother. It's the house of emotions. It's your home. We're all used to the drama at home, right? That's why I said you don't feel that heavy effect of Ketu in the 9th because, oh yeah, drama always happens home. My family at home is doing this and that. Well, Ketu here says it's going to break down the meaning of what home truly means to you. What is love? What does unconditional love means to you? You might have emotional disconnect with your mother. You might have not received love from either of your parents, but it's time you go inside and feel the love with the divine. So your transformation happens from the 4th house. And it makes you confront your inner wounds, your inner child healing that needs to happen. You have to, with this placement, you have to let go family conditioning. Like I said, those strict traditional beliefs, just because you were born in a certain caste, certain type of family, you probably don't get along with their values anymore. You're the chain breaker. You have different belief system than the whole family. So your family probably conditioned you in a certain way that you can't do this, you shouldn't be doing this. And you're the rebellion because you're here for a change. You see things differently. For me, for myself example, like I mentioned, my Ketu in D9 is in the 9th house. So as many of you know, I am from the Sikh religion, and astrology is not typically practiced there, and no one in my family had this knowledge, but my ancestors did. And now it's different for many of you to see a Sikh person on camera speaking about planets and stuff. But for me, my talent is not in astrology. It's even one above. It's helping you connect with your inner self to help you discover who you are at a soul level. Like, where is that lost soul doing on this planet? What were you meant to do? And my job, my calling, is to reflect that light back, that confused light, or reignite that flame within you and remind you who you are as a soul body. And with Ketu in the 9th, being 8th away as a 4th, that's usually your root chakra, your stability, your grounding, your emotional stability. It gets torn apart and it gets rebuilt again. Your foundations are completely broken from all sides, emotional boundaries. Emotionally, you're torn to pieces, ripped apart, because either you lose somebody or you're kicked out of your house or nobody's there for your emotional support. And you have to do the inner healing in Ketu Mahadasha, emotional body. And since we're talking about the 4th house, being 8th away from the 9th, now that's where ancestor healing also happens. A lot of times they say, oh yeah, Pitru Dosh is seen from the 9th house. And so there's a reason why it's seen from the 9th house now. A lot of people don't know the reason. A lot of people don't even know how to find it. They say it, but they don't know this connection. The 8th house, house of transformation, is 4th house, linked to your lineage. And so, like I said, ancestor healing that needs to be done is seen through here. And I said it again, I'll say it, inner child healing, father wounds that exist in a lot of us with displacement, right? What are you asked to let go? If you have Ketu in the 9th house, letting go, we have to count 12 houses away, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th house. 7th house is the 12th house away. No, 8th house, sorry. 8th house is 8th house is 12 houses away from the 9th house where Ketu sits. And that's what you have to let go for your soul to evolve. And what are you letting go? The traditional teachings of the occult. You have to let go of the baggage of trauma. You should have healed with it in the past life. If you're still holding on to anything, you should heal as soon as you can. You can't be carrying this on. That's why the soul is really light and happy here. And you don't need to learn. If you have Ketu in the 9th, you don't need to learn astrology. You don't need to learn Tantra. You don't need to learn any type of mystical divine teachings. They are within you. You have to shed your attachments. You have to start going within and see what kind of information you're able to get. You have to start trusting your gut. You have to let that knowledge unfold from within. Yes, you can read a book. Yes, you can do your teachings, courses to quickly brush up the past life knowledge. But Ketu helps you find your inner talents. Once you start going inwards and you're like, where do I excel? Once you sit in silence, the kind of instructions, the kind of information you will get, you wouldn't believe it. Now, depending on where Jupiter and some of the other planets are placed, you can do a lot of work, 8th house work through the 9th house, because Ketu already has that knowledge within. But are you willing on going deep inside and finding yourself to unlock that talent? What talents are you bringing into this lifetime? Let me ask you. I wouldn't be here if I didn't go inward and find myself. I'm not here for myself, I remind you again. I'm here so I can help you rediscover who you are. This information that I bring in front of the mic, in front of the camera, is so you can come here and rediscover who you are in this soul, in this lost world, as a lost soul, in this Maya world and matrix. So we've talked about the change, which is 8 houses. So we have talked about the 12th house, what you have to let go and stuff. So again, I want to remind you that with Rahu in the 3rd house, do not be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. If I didn't step out of my comfort zone, I wouldn't be in front of a camera. Growing up, I was a very camera shy person. I don't have any social media account. I'm still waiting to set up my Instagram for this astrology and spiritual channel here. I never grew up with posting my pictures online. What you see me today, I was not this before my Ketu Mahadasha. I didn't post anything online. I had to do my own healing or find my own inner courage to be out here. And so many hearts are being touched today. But I had to step out of my comfort zone. So you have to find out what's holding you back from doing something different. If you need help finding yourself, finding where you're lost, this is where you email me and we set up an appointment. We talk, we look at your chart, we see what is stopping you, where your true talents are hiding. And now, what are the gifts, right? Like, let's talk about a positive note here as well. Gifts are traditionally seen the 2nd house away. 2 houses away of any house are the gift of that house. For the 9th house, the gift are 9, 10. So the 10th house are your gifts. What is 10th house? Work life, your public image, career, your reputation, right? Now, if you're doing work from your heart, that's the gift. You're living soul aligned. That's all Ketu in the 9th wants you to do, is start finding that inner calling and start doing what your soul came here to do. And with people in the Ketu in the 9th house, and the reason why you get some of the biggest gurus, teachers, mentors that are helping public at large, this placement of Ketu makes you non-egoic. No ego here. These people that are coaching the next generation to become something more beautiful, these teachers, these guides, these mentors, these gurus, these healers, they work from a non-ego heart. These people, they could have some of the biggest fame, because 10th house is a house of fame and public image, right? But they're so grounded, they're so humble, they don't let that fame get to their ego. They work with a pure heart. And I just want to remind you, because you're probably watching this because you have Ketu in the 9th, either D1 or D9. You have a special talent hidden inside you, my friend. You have a way of making many, many souls smile. Find it. I found mine. You're looking at them. Again, I want to remind you, I'm not doing this for the money, the viewers, the likes. No. Like I say, as a closing remark, I want to say that every subscriber is a family member. We're building a family of love, hearts filled with unconditional love that are joining, and people that are waking up to the true calling, people that are not afraid to speak the truth anymore. People who have found the true calling are the ones who have subscribed. So I'm bringing change in the astrology world. I'm adding the modern emotions, the traumas, the pain to the traditional planets, and helping you understand where your anxiety, where your traumas are coming from. I'm helping you explain which chakras are blocked so easily with the help of these planets. I'm helping you find what your true calling is at a soul level from astrology that a lot of people can't do. So thank you for staying this long and watching this video and supporting. I hope you've learned something so beautiful, so deep, so divine from this placement. And I'll be back again this week with Ketu in the 10th house. I know a lot of you are waiting for that. Again, I want to remind you, there's a special video I made about announcement for when we reach 1,000 viewers. And it's a special giveaway. So do check it out. And I hope you're healing well. I hope you're finding your soul calling. And as a closing remark, remember that guru that you're trying to find, a person who's going to take you under the wings. Yes, for certain industries, coaching purposes and business world, you can find a mentor. But for spirituality purpose, a true guru is found within. A true guru, even an enlightened soul, even my work here is to guide you inward. This is where the healing, this is where the guru resides. This is who you are on the inside. So thank you for staying this long. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you guys within a video this week. Happy healing. Stay smiling. Love you guys.